Welcome to the Stargate Finance Community Call, where we discuss proposals and ideas that will help shape and govern the Stargate protocol. Feel free to join the conversation on stage anytime you have a question by clicking on the raise hand button at the bottom of the screen. You can also chime in through the voice text channel in Discord or any of the chats for those listening in through YouTube and Twitch, as those channels all aggregate the messages together. And just a reminder, this is not financial, accounting, or legal advice. Please do your own research. This past 2 weeks for Stargate has been incredible. It's amazing to see we've already got 400 people here in the audience, and rightfully so, as there's been a ton of stuff going on. Super excited about everything we've got here that's going on. Just to kick things off here, let's start with some stats. With looking at what we've got going here, Stargate is the most used bridge in DeFi. There's more users on it. It's absolutely crazy how much is being used. For the we've set a new record now as well for transactions in November at just over 256,000. And as far as volume, we're at 769 million. Just beating right now October. So trending in the right direction as always. This is fantastic. And just great to see so much activity happening here. People are interested. People are using it. And, with all the other things here that we'll get into today, I'm sure that's why people are so stoked. A lot of you have noticed, the SVE STG rewards are now, that claiming is now live. So head over to stargate.finance/stake. From there, if you've had a stake that was when we first started, or when it was first starting for when that proposal passed on June 11th, there's some. If you look at the announcements, there's some timestamps there for when that all started. But that claiming period from June 11th till the end of October is available to claim. So if you had staked STG in between that time period, you would have been eligible to receive rewards, and you can claim those there. So if you haven't done so already, check it out, go claim and claim your rewards. But kind of looking at the fee structure, on average, I guess there was an a little over 8% APY. And that's, based off of kind of an average on the amount that was staked and with the volume and everything. So a lot of that can fluctuate, particularly if there's more volume coming in. If imagine 10x the volume here. That could be kind of interesting to see what that kind of looks like. But in total, over that first time period that VE fees were available, to be distributed, there was 158,000 that was distributed across all VE holders in that time period. So pretty cool to see, to see that. And we've got 22 million STG are currently staked here. So for those who just staked in November, that claim will be available in December at some point. So just stay tuned for that. Just keep your eyes out for when that claiming period comes available. And moving on to some integrations here. Lots of that stuff's been going on. So with some of you may have noticed as well this morning, as far as the Layer 0 integrating a Chainlink Oracle. So Stargate has not yet switched over, but plans to do so in the future. And as a lot of you, if you are familiar with the space, Chainlink is best in class security and was one of the most trusted oracles in the space. So looking, as more and more individuals or projects or, integrations are coming on, that's, really exciting to see more and more stuff coming into the whole ecosystem here to help improve and strengthen all of Stargate and essentially all of DeFi as well. So stay tuned for further info on that. Another integration that came in here was with Bungie. Excited to have Bungie routing through Stargate and exposing more and more people to our best-in-class liquidity and routing. Also, GiroSwap, that's another one that brought the widget integration So of course now users can use the Stargate widget directly from in GiroSwap. And we've also had another one here with A-Vault, and I think we've got let's see, we've got Eshi, are you here? There we are. I'll invite you up here to speak. Awesome. Eshi, how are you today?
Pretty good, thank you.
Yeah, awesome. So basically, you guys have been, just wanted to give you a little highlight here, just to what you guys are up to, and if you don't mind, just give us a little intro here on what A-Vault's up to, and what you guys do.
Yeah, so A-Vault is the one-stop omni-chain yield platform that has leveraged Stargate to help you access Web3 apps in an easier way. So when you hold one asset on one chain, as a user of A-Vault, you'll be able to interact with other dApps and own other chains. And then you can do cross-chain compounding, staking, lending, and public sale. And you can all do it within one click. And you also only have to pay with one upfront gas fee. So you can literally complete all the steps on one page and enjoy your life. Maybe think about trading strategies. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Well, that's awesome. Why does something like Stargate interest you, or what's? I guess, well, obviously it does. But why did you, why did you integrate Stargate? What made that choice for you guys?
Yeah. So basically, to build our product, we need something to bridge the asset from chain A to chain B, and you guessed it, Stargate comes to play. So we particularly liked about Stargate is that they're bridging of native assets. So I can't tell you how important this is because wrapped assets sucks. It all boils down to the trust issues with the custodian, and that's you could call it centralization. So as developers, we are given large pools of liquidity that are capital efficient, and they don't require liquidity pool emissions to be managed. And as users, you get to earn native income in different chains. So everyone's happy.
Yeah, amazing. Well, that sounds pretty fantastic. And I don't know, what else excites you about Stargate, or things that you guys are looking to do, or any further little insight to some future stuff that you guys have got going?
Yeah, so wrapped asset or not, I think we can all agree that cross-chain is the future. So in the future, I hope that everyone will not have to juggle between like the different steps to use cross-chain apps. We're really trying to build an app that makes you not aware of like the underlying mechanisms, and that's what we're trying to build.
Awesome. Okay, well, if people are looking to try out A-Vault, what's the best way to find you guys? If you can plug your website and your Twitter, and then how can people find you?
The best way is to stay tuned in our Twitter, and if you already are a follower of Stargate, you can sometimes see they retweet our tweets. Thank you very much.
Yeah, cool. And your website?
Our website is avault.network.
Perfect.
You can try our demo there once it's up, but I think right now it's in internal beta testing.
All right. Cool. Well, we're thank you very much for coming on here, and we'll stay tuned for further developments.
Well, thank you for having me.
You betcha. All right, thanks, Eshi. Cool. Well, moving on with other integrations or other things that have happened here. So the My Pools, those also went live. Currently, My Pools on Optimism, around $1 million, while the rest, so Arbitrum, Matic, BNB, Ethereum, and Avalanche, all have liquidity around 500K each. And my team is they'll add and kind of help fill any pathways or any pools that need to be adjusted accordingly. So pretty cool to see another asset in there to help with routing and help with even for other integrations too that are looking for paths with that can definitely help them as well. And we've got next week, we are planning to do a layer 3 quest. So I've got a campaign that's all planned out, for over the next 6 months. You'll be able to perform some, do some quests, and yeah, hopefully that'll be ready for Monday. That's kind of the tentative plan right now. And yeah, after completing a quest, you will be able to claim an ONFT. So that's the Omnichain non-fungible token that is issued by, or made possible thanks to Layer 0. So yeah, those will be minted on Polygon to start, and we'll see what happens into the future as we go out there. But yeah, the plan is to kind of do two to three quests a month. So yeah, please stay tuned for that. And yeah, if you're a Layer 3 user, that'll be a great place for you guys to check that out, or for other people as well here that are listening in. Would love to get you to test it out and get familiar with some of the things and some of the quests that Layer 3 is offering, and what we're doing with and other things that what's going on with Stargate. So yeah, other ones here too within Discord, for example, we've kind of updated the Discord help zone. So there's been a lot of requests coming in around kind of similar things, and it's just a lot of repetition. And we're hoping now to be able to empower the community to have like a self-serve kind of approach to a lot of this. So if you've got there's some Galaxy stuff. There was questions around that, and now we've kind of got like some workflows for that. So hopefully we're trying to be able to give the users the ability to just get there, get the information they need, or have this kind of walkthrough that can guide them or guide you throughout all of this. So if you've got any feedback about that or other things that we can do to add into that, would love to hear from you on this. We just want to help the community as much as possible. And, make it as, with all these questions and things that are coming out, be able to get you to the right answers. So yeah, hopefully that works out really nice. So far I'm seeing some positive reactions with it, and, we'll keep us posted on that. And then just kind of as we talk about the, help and support and everything here too, with Snapshot, there's some of you who have gone to Snapshot and are either seeing, a zero balance, which generally is due to delegation. So you may have delegated on another space or across the entire space of Snapshot. And if you've done so, you'll have to go back into your delegation. So I think just snapshot.org/delegation. And just make sure, just look and see who you have delegated to. You may have been delegated to an entire to an address across the entire space, and if you've done so, you will not be eligible to vote on particular proposals that are currently live. So you'll need to undelegate, and then you'll be ready to vote on other ones. In the past, Snapshot had some other kind of parameters where you could or couldn't vote before, but now they've changed that. So it's you'll basically have to undelegate. And then the other one, of course, is if we have RPCs. So if there's an RPC issue, we're usually in contact with Snapshot, and they do their best to get that up and running as quickly as possible. So please bear with us. And hopefully that gives you some solutions there. All right, moving on to proposals. So we've had 3 proposals that have closed out recently here. So SIP 19, 20, and 21. So the first one is on protocol. Yeah, the protocol balancing. Max, do you want to dive in a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm really excited about how much community activity we've been seeing through Snapshot and through the number of people voting on Snapshot and the amount of votes we've been getting and the amount of engagement. I think Brian had talked about some of these previously, but I think running through each of them is a good thing. SIP 19 is the first proposal that has already closed and passed. It simply gives a mandate to the Stargate Foundation to help put Stargate back into balance because of the USDT fears. Stargate sits slightly out of balance currently, which because of our robust liquidity is not a huge issue, but it creates suboptimal paths and routing. Stargate works in the best way when all the paths are balanced and liquidity can flow freely through those paths. So creating balance is a net positive as it allows more volume to come through Stargate, which generates more fees for both the protocol and VE stakers. So SIP-19 and SIP-20 create a mandate for balanced and then continued balance and rebalancing, where the Stargate Foundation will, in a transparent way with published addresses, take some of the POL and use that to continually balance the system to create a more efficient Stargate. What this will result in is a need for less TVL for Stargate to function in the same way it does right now, which is super exciting because if Stargate needs less TVL, it hypothetically needs less emissions to support that TVL in the future, which is super exciting. And there are a couple other functional changes to how rewards get triggered within Stargate itself as well, which will help others also rebalance the protocol in a more effective way. Because again, when Stargate is balanced, Stargate is optimal. And when Stargate is optimal, we see this type of volume flowing through it. And as more and more partners build on top of Stargate and integrate Stargate, you want predictability within the liquidity and routing. So I'm super excited about those two proposals going through.
Yeah, that's super sick to be able to have that, have these improvements and efficiencies.
Yeah. SIP-21 is a little bit of a different proposal. It is a improvement on the current DPEG protection module. The current DPEG protection module shuts off pathways when a certain threshold, 95 cents, is reached for a DPEG. But what we end up seeing is toxic arbitrage within Stargate before that point is reached. This module, when deployed, would oracle prices using Chainlink price feeds and update dynamic pricing on each chain for the depegged asset to allow the protocol to charge slightly more if you're trying to swap a depegged asset to discourage people from imbalancing pathways. And it sets a much tighter threshold for depeg and hard shutoff at 98.5 cents rather than 95 cents. At the end of the day, if there's an asset that is going to depeg, Stargate should be protected in the most stringent way possible, and SIP-21 does that.
Beautiful. Yeah, I know there'd been some questions about the stable assets and everything like that before. So hopefully this squanders any questions around it, or makes people feel, if there was any issues with it or what people feel about it, that should this is designed to make everything more efficient and better. So and then just going back to a question here from Smart Chad with SIP 1920, 21. We have a timeline for when the initial rebalancing will start and for which pools? And again, we'd kind of, as discussed here, there would be a transparent way of all this happening. If we don't have details on it, will there be a communication sent out prior to each pool rebalancing? They're currently a DAO that's farming on Stargate, and we want to make sure we understand the rebalancing efforts that may affect the pools we are in.
Yeah, this is a really good question. The rebalancing won't actually impact any of the pools or function on Stargate. Mm-hmm. It won't impact any farming that anybody's doing. It won't impact liquidity in any way, shape, or form. When you move money from chain A to chain B, so a source to a destination, assets get put into the source chain and withdrawn from the destination. And it's just reversing those swaps so that the liquidity sitting on each source and each source chain is exactly the same amount of liquidity that was put back in. So Stargate functions as it functions. There's never a point where liquidity is matched 1-to-1 because money is always moving throughout Stargate. But what the rebalancing does and continued balance is create as close to a 1-to-1 balance as possible to allow people to pick up and move that liquidity whenever they want. After it's been moved, it gets moved back so that somebody else can go and pick it back up. But it doesn't actually change the underlying capital, safety, or farming of anybody. There will be no noticeable impact from a function standpoint other than the protocol will function with a much more consistent and smooth amount of liquidity, and much more liquidity that's able to be transferred through pathways,
Right.
which is exciting.
Yeah. So realistically, the what you would have the effects that you're going to feel is just positive, beneficial effects from this. I mean, rather than anything, that would be
Exactly. And
negative
as a
anyway.
byproduct of some of this rebalancing, the Stargate POL will also capture some additional fees
True.
that are deposited within the protocol. So POL will
Yep.
continue to grow. As POL grows and gets deposited as liquidity, there's less need for liquidity, less emissions that need to go out, and we have a healthier long-term protocol.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. Yeah. So those that wraps on the three that have currently passed. And there are three more that are currently up. That so SIP 22, 23, and the APD for popcorn. Those are currently up and are wrapping in a few hours. So yeah, as we go kind of dive into those here. So with 22 and 23.
So SIP 22 suggests a lower voting and posting threshold for proposals to pass and for people to post proposals. We have been contacted by a number of people that are interested in actively becoming a larger part of our community. And we'd like the community to be able to continue to engage in this really robust way that we've seen. So I think it's always good when more people are able to participate in governance, and SIP 22 functionally achieves that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, blocking up STG is, a lot of people feel, still need to put a lot of capital towards making that happen. However, there are, there is individuals that, individual accounts that have, 50,000 VE STG. And I think that's attainable for, people who want to contribute to the protocol. So this is lowering it, by 1/3 of the current VE STG. So yeah, it would be amazing to have more and more people available to access this, and and being able to kind of be active in governance and whatnot. So I know with Commonwealth, they've got some updates that are coming out as well. So I really want to encourage people to continue to go through Commonwealth. If you've got proposals, if you've got things that you want to post, put it up there. That's where we can end up discussing these sorts of things on these community calls. And, I just want to, like I say, get everyone over there and get active in the conversation. Also, there's, please don't just hit, good proposal, GM, hello, sounds good. Please be active if you want to comment in there, it's, it's actual looking at comments that are descriptive, are actually effective, and actually are valid and meaningful towards the discussion. We may have to look at some sort of deleting option or something like this for just the spam things. So please, we really want to keep the Commonwealth very available for proper meaningful discussion. So thank you with that. But yeah, hopefully that's continuing that the beautiful governance process, and SIP 22 helps with that. 23 then, data-driven emissions modification.
Sure. So currently within Stargate, there's some arbitrary TVL goals that have been set out for almost all pools. And this proposal allows the protocol itself to adjust emissions based on actual volume flowing through the pools to match emissions with actual volume-based needs, with historical volume and some buffer against future volume. What this functionally allows the protocol to do, if it passes, is adjust emissions to actually support the reality rather than a ideal. And it also presents a community goal, which I hope we can all rally around, to reduce emissions that Stargate gives out. And that should be a continued goal of reduction of emissions down to zero, frankly. Stargate in the optimal state has enough POL to support all transfer volume through itself without having to incentivize pools. And this gets us closer to that, assuming that the community, you guys, want to get there.
And I think that's, earlier on, I know a lot of people were really talking about, too many emissions or let's lower emissions. So, it's great to see that the community's kind of getting behind this sort of stuff. Lowering emissions, growing POL, those are the, and just driving TVL. Driving volume through Stargate. Like those are the three metrics that are going to really take Stargate to the next level. So if anybody has questions on any of that right now, or I guess we've got the POP. POP.
So we have one more proposal up for voting, which is an APD deployment for Popcorn. They were on a previous community space. They are suggesting that they have pools added to Stargate and they fund those pools, similar to how MI and USDD have proposed it. Currently, voting is also ongoing on that proposal. So if you would like to see POP added as an asset to Stargate, please go and vote there. And depending on the results of that, either it will be added or there can be another proposal if they need to go back to the drawing board.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and of course that's like with any of these proposals. If something something comes about, it doesn't pass. If there's another choice for, or if they want to come back to the drawing board at any time with like a proposal that doesn't pass, that's totally cool too, right? To be making things that are more efficient and better for the community and for the protocol. That's the beautiful part about governance. There was a couple other questions above here with, the first one was on, I think Max, you might be able to answer this one better because the liquidity shown on Stargate UI is deposited liquidity or current liquidity. So that's all.
The current liquidity shown within the Stargate UI is the deposited liquidity. In an ideal state, deposited liquidity and current liquidity are almost equal or very close together. It is something that is worth looking at as a protocol to potentially display both, but the current display is deposited liquidity only.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. And then the other one was on the USDD pools, and of course that's an APD, so APDs are not incentivized. So there will be no emissions for the APD, for APDs. So therefore, no emissions for USDD. Of course, if the community wanted to put a proposal up for emissions on that, of course that's an option you could look at. I think with an APD mechanism, when the proposal goes through and an APD goes up onto Stargate, it's then on the team that proposes to fill those pools. Yeah. There's like Stargate is a decentralized protocol that, the community vote on work and things to do, and the protocol does it. We hope that those pools will be filled and are excited to see them filled in the future. There it is. Yeah, because that's a very good point that Max is bringing up. It's usually the teams of these tokens that are, interested in they have the liquidity to be able to post here, so there isn't really a need to incentivize it, and then therefore allowing people to go back and forth through it. So, let's see if there's other APDs that come in, but that's kind of the main way of dealing with APDs. Right. So I think that's kind of all the stuff we wanted to cover today. We've really hammered through a lot of stuff. It's been a crazy couple weeks here, to be very honest. If we have questions, I do see a lot of hands up. I know we've got a few hands here, but I'll click on a few things. If you do come up here, if you don't answer in a couple of seconds, we'll just move on to the next person. But I'll invite a couple of you up here if you've got questions. Aesop.
Yeah, hey, thanks. Congratulations on the progress the last month. I just have a question regarding SIP 20. And basically, if I understand correctly, it's basically modifying it such that the EQ rewards is capped. And it's not clear to me what the cap is, because if you look at the proposal on Commonwealth, at one point it says 20 bips, the other place it says 50 bips. So there's some contradiction there. But also, what's the intent for that? Because when you do something like that, in effect, you're basically, dissuading the whales from coming in, or rather, someone come in, make the rebalance done in, like, say, one transaction, and it encourage someone to do it in, say, multiple transactions, just so that they can maximize the rewards. So just trying to understand what is the cause for that, the modifications, but also in the same proposal, it basically also implies that Layer 0 or Stargate, the foundation, is going to be doing the manual rebalance for the first 6 months. So it sounds like, you have two forces going on. One is the foundation doing the transition and, doing the rebalancing, but then you also have the EQ rewards doing the incentivization of, people arbing to rebalance the pools. And, just trying to get some clarification in terms of the design intentions of that.
For sure. And this is a super interesting question, and really appreciate you raising it. I mean, if you have a couple hours, we'd love to talk about it, but we'll try and, condense it down. We'll start at the foundation. The foundation is proposing a 6-month term that can be stopped at any time at the will of the community to help rebalance the protocol. Right now, that is to be additive and to ensure balance within the protocol itself on top of what naturally already occurs. The way that Stargate is designed is that when something is out of balance and there's a transfer that goes through it, there's an EQ fee that is generated, which accrues into an EQ reward. The reason the EQ reward cap is proposed is because historically, based on the data that we've seen, when there are large events like USDTD pegs or something like that, what we see is not people rebalancing the protocol, but we see arbitrageurs come in and capture these while leaving the protocol out of balance. So what happened is there was a calculus, or there was, some work done to figure out what was the point that people would there would be enough incentive to still balance the protocol and still incentivize people in a meaningful way to want to capture reward from rebalancing the protocol, and then allowing POL, so, Stargate itself, to capture the rest of any imbalance that's created, to allow POL to grow faster. As this goes on, if the community sees it and decides that's not a good idea, another vote can go up and it can be unwound itself. Right. So does that answer those questions?
Well, I guess what I'm trying to understand is, obviously the goal is to make sure that Stargate has enough POL. Once you have POL, then everything is somewhat immaterial, or to some extent. But also just making sure that Stargate as a protocol survives and is able to, say, still function properly during times of distress. And it's times of distress when things become crazy and chaotic that you want, if there's an imbalance, you want to make sure that there's going to be enough liquidity in the pool so that people can continue to function. If you take away the incentive for, say, the large whales coming in and, say, rebalance everything in times of distress, and it creates a disincentive for, I guess, the quickness of the rebalance. Aren't you exposing yourself in, say, times of distress to say, empty liquidity or no liquidity? And then, then Stargate may not function as well. Yeah. Or potentially stop functioning.
I don't think that's functionally how that plays out, because there's an EQ fee curve that protects liquidity within the pools. But to get here, there were some conversations with a number of the top market makers in the space, and other folks that do rebalancing for, professionally, to help as well, to figure out, what the sort of threshold for doing this type of rebalancing is. Again, historically, the quote unquote whales that have been doing this rebalancing haven't been doing it to necessarily help the protocol. They've been doing it to capture a large fee, and sometimes that doesn't actually help the protocol in the way that it needs to. Stargate, because of the depth of liquidity, has managed to function through all these times of turbulence. So if you look at SIP 20 and all the changes proposed there, as well as SIP 21, I personally feel, and I hope the rest of the community does as well, that helps future-proof Stargate against some of these other events. There's still a healthy EQ reward that goes out, and within this, there's an API that will be produced to help alert anyone who wants to help with rebalancing about these rebalancing events, so they can still be taken. We still see from the data, very healthy rebalancing in and around, 20 basis points, 30 basis points.
Yeah. Now, so I just want to make sure I'm not criticizing the SIP 20 or SIP 19 or 21. Rather, it's just that when I ask some of these questions on Commonwealth, there's no response from the author of the SIP. So if your intent is to make sure that people are actually coming to Commonwealth, to Tango's point earlier, which is have a rich environment or just a lot of conversation, I think perhaps authors should just respond on the Commonwealth as well, so that I think it's probably the best way of setting example is lead by example.
I would agree with that point.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're going to try and get, as we pointed out here, getting more engagement around Commonwealth and just stirring up further discussion and ensuring that all questions are getting answered. And so, again, going back to the point, too, where, we'd appreciate if we can just have, we don't need, one-word questions or one-word responses in there. It does create a bunch of noise. But, yes, just that's a very good point, Aesop, and that will improve in the future. Anything further?
Just one more question. Since I still have on stage, you haven't kicked me off yet. What's your view in terms of what Chainlink is doing with CCIP? Do you see that as something that is competitive, or something that is a partnership type of opportunity down the road?
I think Stargate as a decentralized protocol can live harmoniously with a number of different folks. I don't have I personally don't have a firm thought around CCIP currently, and what that would look like. I mean, there would need to be exploration within the community of what that could look like or not.
Yeah, I don't have any strong opinions either yet. So cool. Alrighty.
Great. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Aesop. Just look here quick if we've got a couple others. I'll just invite a few people up here. Let's see if any of you are maybe not here. Anyways, I've invited everyone to come up and speak. If you've got that has requested, I know sometimes people just bump the button and aren't looking to actually speak. But if there's anybody who just want to make sure, make sure they are answered. But doesn't look like it anymore. Okay, and Primo is away right now. He will be back for the next community call, so don't worry. But thankfully, we've had Max here today to help. Bojanki, have you got something for us?
Yeah, thank you.
Hey.
So you made me request that will be ongoing in each month. I just wanted to ask, what would the quest be based on?
Sorry, I don't think I got. You're really breaking up a lot. Are you able to try and?
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yeah, try again, please.
Yeah, you can hear me now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. You made mention of 2 to 3 quests that will be ongoing each month. So I just wanted to confirm and ask, what will those quests really be based on?
To clarify, you're asking about the layer 3 quests?
Yeah, the quests. Those quests, you said there will be 2 to 3 quests each month.
Yes.
So I just wanted to confirm and know what those questions is. Yeah,
we'll keep you posted on that. I just wanted to make an announcement today to let the community know that that's something that's coming. I will follow up with you here on. We'll let some announcements. Keep an eye out for Monday. Hoping to have that all dialed in and ready to go for you. We'll have I'll have a full breakdown of everything. But glad that you're excited about that. There will be some of that available for Monday, is the plan, and minting ONFTs as rewards. So pretty exciting stuff.
I think in general, the Stargate Twitter has become a must follow Twitter because there's so much news coming out about things that are happening. So it's really good to keep engaged with Twitter and Discord and Telegram, because the protocol's pushing full steam ahead to try and achieve the goals.
There we have it. Cool. All right. Well, thank you very much, Bojanki. We'll keep you posted. I'll move you to the audience now. Thanks for coming on here. But so as far as just to kind of, or I guess is going off of Max's point here, if you haven't followed on Twitter, go ahead and do that. That's at Stargate Finance. And for those of you that are listening over in Twitter Spaces, thanks for popping in there. You can find us over in Discord as well. So if you go to stargate.finance/Discord, you can end up coming into the Discord. And then, of course, we do have, there are those listening in on YouTube. Appreciate it as well. YouTube.com/Stargate Finance. You can find all these community calls get posted there. Plus there'll be, any other content will get posted on YouTube as well. And then there's a few of you on Twitch, I think, too. So, head over to find out all of those, all the places that you want to have content. We are trying to get to be everywhere as possible. So, thanks everyone for coming out today. This will be up on YouTube to follow up afterwards. I'll post that in one of the chats. But exciting times here for Stargate, moving full ahead. Lots happening. So stay tuned, stay posted, and look forward to seeing all 820 of you next, and hopefully more, in on the next call here in a couple of weeks. All right. Appreciate you all. Take care. Ciao, ciao.